All right, good Monday evening, everybody. Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Ken South here, and just want to review kind of what happened over this past weekend, then look forward to next weekend when we should get, unfortunately, another Arctic blast. So here's a look at our visible satellite image. Now this you can only see in the daylight hours, so the loop here is from about 10 o'clock in the morning to about 4 in the afternoon. And notice towards the end of the loop it gets dark to the east, and that's because the sun is setting. So you see the kind of sun setting along the east coast. But just want to point this out because you see some white on the map here. The white on the map that you see that's moving, those are clouds that this visible satellite is picking up on. But the areas that are not moving, well, that is sleet and snow on the ground. So that's basically your snow cover or your snow pack. And again, the scope of the storm, massive across the country. The snowpack goes from New Mexico and Texas all the way up through Kansas, Oklahoma, and that snow covers most of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and look at the Mississippi Delta. Now, we got mostly ice, but in the Delta, that got a layer of sleet and snow on top of it, and that's why it's going to take quite a while for this area to recover. I'm thinking most of this week, folks are going to be without power there, let's say from Issaquena, Sharkey, Humphreys, and Holmes counties and points north. Here's a look at our ice accumulation. It actually worked out the way we thought it would. Most of the ice along and north or west of the Natchez Trace. So we did get some ice here in Jackson, but not a whole lot. Great news for us. I know you saw the ice on trees and some power lines, but not enough to cause any major problems here, thank goodness. But you didn't have to go too far to the west to get into some really bad problems. In fact, even western Hinds County, about an inch of ice in Bolton, about an inch or so in Vicksburg, also in Flora and Yazoo County, but then you get up to Holmes, Humphreys, Sharkey, and Issaquena counties, and this is where we had 1 to 2 inches of ice, and along the Mississippi River, even higher amounts, over 2 inches. A layer of 2 inches of ice on everything is going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to cause a lot of power outages. And statewide, at one point today, we had almost 150,000 people without power. That was as of this afternoon. It has gotten a little bit better because we know those crews are out and they're working hard to get it restored, but still we've got about 140,000 customers without power. Now, there are counties that have more customers without power, but I just wanted to list the counties by percentage of customers without power, just to give you kind of the scope of what's happening in these areas. Humphreys County, 99%. Holmes County, 94%. Sharkey County, 93%. Yazoo County, 70% of the customers that they track. And I know that number looks a little bit low, but that's as of the customers that they track. And Claiborne, about 34%. Bottom line, widespread power outages in this area. That's going to take days to fix. All right, now, we're going to be cold, of course, for the rest of this week. That Arctic high moving down south. We have seen a north wind today around it, but as the high gets closer to us, the winds are going to relax just a little bit, so I don't think wind chill is going to be that much of an issue, but the actual temperature is going to fall tonight under fair skies. In fact, at the 10 o'clock hour, actually the 11 o'clock hour, this just updated, we are already down into the teens. It's 19 degrees out there. The skies are fair, winds are calm. It's going to be a cold, cold night. So we're in the teens already to, let's say, low to mid-20s. And by tomorrow, I think we're going to be in the mid to upper teens, maybe shave a degree or two off because of the wind chill first thing in the morning. And then tomorrow, this is the good news, that high pressure is going to slide to the south of us. Our winds are going to start to come back in from the southwest. That, combined with the sunshine, is going to help us to warm up. So I do expect us to get above freezing sometime before, let's say, the lunch hour. 10, 11 o'clock in the morning is when we should cross that freezing mark, and then we'll be above freezing for the rest of the afternoon, and we're going to see full sunshine. So that's going to do a lot to help to start to melt some of that ice off to the north and to the west of us. High pressure, again, you see it moving down towards the south of us tomorrow. Notice our winds coming in from the southwest in the afternoon, but then north winds take over again, and it just overall is going to be a cold week ahead. We're looking at freezing numbers each morning, and your highs mostly just in the 40s, which is a good 10 to 15 degrees below average. Now, let's take a look up to the north because I want to show you there is another chunk of Arctic air in northern Canada, and it's headed this way. We've got what we call a Hudson Bay low sitting over Hudson Bay, of course, and around that, it continues to bring in cold air on the backside of it all the way down through the United States and eventually into our area. So as the week goes along, there's going to be a slow warming trend, although we're still going to be below freezing each morning, but each morning does get a little bit better. Tomorrow morning, 15, then we're at 24, 26, 32, but Friday is the day that next Arctic front will move through. Now, I'm expecting some clouds, maybe a little bit of rain, but we're only going to call for about a 20% chance. Thankfully, this go around, we're not going to get the storm combined with the cold air. For us, it's just going to be another cold blast that's going to be coming in for the upcoming weekend, which is the last day of January and the first day of February. But those numbers are going to be knocked right back down into the teens. What I expect to happen this time is that there is going to be another storm developing in the Gulf, but this time it's going to be down around northern Florida, and that's where I think it's going to blow up and move up the eastern seaboard, kind of like a nor'easter, and then behind it, that's going to bring down the cold air into our area. So we get the cold air again, minus the precipitation. So for tonight, extreme cold warning in effect, a light north wind, temperature at 15, wind chill maybe down to about, let's say, 10 to 12 at the lowest. And then tomorrow, it'll be sunny, but still cold, although above freezing. We'll make it up to 44. For most of the day, winds are going to be very light, but again, late in the day, I think they're going to shift off to the southwest, and we will see mostly sunny skies. It'll be nice and sunny through Wednesday, clouds increasing Thursday, and notice our temperatures do gradually climb up, but 52 is the warmest we're going to be this week, because Friday, the clouds come in with the next Arctic front, low chance of rain. And then look where we are Saturday, below freezing all day again. 18 degrees in the morning, 32 in the afternoon. We're down to 20 Sunday morning. So I know we got to let our faucets drip until it warms up above freezing Tuesday afternoon. We're going to be below freezing for several hours again next weekend, and you may want to let those faucets drip once again, let's say starting Friday night through about midday next Sunday. Of course, we'll have more information about this later. This week we'll be able to tweak these numbers just a little bit. Also, just to note, Groundhog Day is coming up a week from today. It's next Monday, and it's going to be a cold one in central Mississippi. All right, that is your forecast for tonight. Meteorologist Megan Hanna is going to be here first thing in the morning with your next update. Have a good night.